Imagine you lived 1,000 years ago. No microscopes, no MRI machines, no electron imaging, no way to cut into a body and preserve what you found long enough to study it. But you had something else. You had time, you had stillness, you had a tradition of turning attention inward, of observing the body from the inside with a precision most modern people never develop. What would you find? Here's what I think. I think we would find exactly what they found. 6 episodes, we've built the whole biological picture, the web, the material, the nervous system, the biomechanics, the emotional body, the strange science, a tissue that connects everything, senses everything, stores everything, generates electricity, conducts signal through a liquid crystal matrix, emits coherent light. Now I want to lay that picture against something older, because here is what strikes me every time I go deep into this material. The ancient traditions got here first. Not approximately, not in a vague metaphor that you can like squint at and make it fit, right? But precisely in specific detail, in map systems with named channels, named centers, named qualities of energy that correspond to what we now have the instruments to measure. That's either the most extraordinary coincidence in intellectual history, or these traditions were observing something real. I don't think it's a coincidence. Let's start with the most documented convergence, Chinese medicine, right? 3,000 years old. It describes a system of channels running through the body called meridians. 14 primary lines, hundreds of specific points along those lines. And the theory, vital energy, qi, flows through these channels. When flow is interrupted, illness follows, pain follows, dysfunction follows. Restore the flow and restore the function. For most of the modern medicine's history, this was dismissed. No one could find the meridians in the dissected body. They didn't show up in an anatomical structure. So the conclusion was they don't exist. In 2002, there was a research showing that acupuncture points correspond with greater than 80% accuracy to the sites where fascial planes intersect, where fascial sheets meet and fold. Not approximately, 80%. The meridians are fascial planes. The acupuncture points are fascial intersections. The qi flowing through those channels is the piezoelectric liquid crystal biophotonic signal we spent all of last episode. They didn't have the instruments we have. They had observation and something else. And the observation and something else was correct. Now move east. Hindu and tantric cosmetology, the subtle body, right? The energy body underlying the physical is mapped through channels called nadis. The text describe 72,000 nadis running through the body. 3 are primary. Ida, running up on the left side of the spine, pingala running up on the right, sushumna running through the center, through the spinal column itself. Ida and pingala are described as crossing each other at specific points as they ascend. The image they form when drawn is the 2 serpents intertwining around center staff. And you've seen the image before, the medical symbol. Right? 2 serpents, a staff, used in medicine for 2,000 years. The 2 serpents are Ida and Pingala. The staff is sushumna, the central fascial column of the spine. The image is the same across cultures that had no contact with each other because they were mapping the same thing. The spiral wrapping of the fascial sheath around the spinal cord, observed from the inside. Across thousands of years and thousands of miles of separation. That's not coincidence. Now to the Hebrew mystical tradition, Kabbalah, the tree of life. It maps the structure of creation through the 10 emanations called sephirots, right? Connected by 22 pathways The tree is a map of cosmos and a map of the human body. 3 vertical columns of the tree correspond to the 3 primary nadis of the Hindu system. The left column, judgment, contraction, and the feminine principle. The right column is the expansion, mercy, and the masculine principle. The central column is the middle path, the balance, the spine. But here's the layer that speaks directly to fascia, the concept of klepoth, right? Usually translated as husks or shells. The klepoth are the structures of concealment, the layers that cover the divine light. In psychological terms, they are often described as the ego's defense structure, the armor. Remember Reich's character armor? The fascial holding patterns that form in response to unresolved experience. The layers of the tissue that thicken around that places that were not safe, that cover something real, something luminous. The Kabbalistic work, tikkun, means repair, restoration, the removal of klipoth to allow the divine light to flow freely. The fascial work, the slow, consistent, intelligent work of releasing restriction, is tikkun of the body, restoring the signal, removing what was built for protection and is no longer needed. The Hermetic tradition, rooted in ancient Egypt, carried through Neoplatonism, through the Renaissance, right, through alchemy, describes the human being as existing simultaneously on multiple levels, right? The physical body, the etheric body, astral body. The etheric body, sometimes called the vital body or the energy body, is described as a luminous field interpenetrating and organizing the physical. It's a template, the blueprint, the form that physical body grows into and maintained by. In Hermetic cosmetology, illness begins in the etheric body first. The disruption in the energy field precedes the physical manifestation. Heal the etheric, heal the physical. Gerald Pollack's Easy Water, Fritz Albert Pope's Biophotons, James Oshman's Liquid Crystal Matrix, a coherent, organized, luminous field interpenetrating the physical body. A field that disruption in loss of crystalline organization, dehydration of the structured water, interference in the photonic communication precedes and predicts physical dysfunction. The Hermeticists called it the etheric body. Modern biophysics calls it the biophotonic field, biofield. Different instruments, different words, different centuries, same observation. Here's the thread that runs through all of it. Across every tradition, Chinese, Hindu, Hebrew, Hermetic, the observation is the same. There is a field. It interpenetrates the physical body. It organizes the physical body. It carries information. And we call it energy. Life, when the field is clear and flowing, the body functions. When it is blocked, it's restricted, corrupted, and dysfunction follows. And the work in every tradition by every name is the work of clearing, releasing what is held, restoring the flow, returning the body to its native organization. What the ancients called spiritual work is what we now understand to be a fascial work. Or precisely, fascial work is one layer of what the ancients were already doing. The last episode brings it all together, what this means for how you train, how you live, how you age. And what a body that has been truly worked, not just muscularly, but systematically, spiritually, actually looks like and feels like. The synthesis is next, so see you there.